In this for loop, okay, there are several variants for the for loops. So here are the variants. We have the for loop counter. What does it mean? In Python, usually we do the for loop with the zero index. It means we start from zero for the first loop, for the first index, and then it goes until n minus 1. So for example, if it is like for I in range, in range 5, then it means it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So always started with the index 0 in Python. But in the template tag, there are some options. If you want to start your index from 1, then it will be using counter. If you start the index from 0, then you will use counter 0. We have also ref counter. Ref means reverse. Reverse. So we start the iteration from the last numbers. And because we are using the ref counter, so the end of the loop will be until 1. If we use ref counter 0, then the end of the loop will be until index 0. We have first, we have last, and we have parent loop. First means true if this is the first time, true the loop. Last, it is true if this is the last time, true the loop. And then parent loop means we are doing the nested loop. If in the Python, it is easy to have like for, and then we have another for. But in template tag in HTML, we have the parent loop. So it depends whether we are now in the parent or in the child. So it is different. So let's see one by one. In the HTML file, we have the for loop, and we can see today. Okay, what does it mean by today? So if you look at the code, we have the for loop today. Today is date time, and then we have date time, and then we want to check what is today and what is the weekday. In Python, they have the numbers to indicate the weekday. For example, if it is Monday, this is the first from Python, and this is index 0. If it is Tuesday, then this is the second, this is index 1. If Wednesday, then it is index 2. If it is Thursday, then it is index 3, and so on. So what is today? Only. So you will. Then it is Wednesday. So that's why the number is 2. You can check with in Python we can do with print, right? So you can print and you can see the result here. So if I run this, then you can see the data. Weekday, it is the array. Or if you want to print today, so you will see the result. Now you can see the number 2. Okay. So we can see the number 2 from the variable today. And yeah, of course, you can have another definition. For example, this is if you want to know what is today based on a particular time. So you can define what is the year, what is the month, and what is the date. And then you can check what is the date of this day. So for example, let me just close. And then let me open this. Then you can specify so March 26, 2018. And then yeah, then you will see this is now in the form of string. This is in the form of date time, and the date time is from the year, month, and day. So we put it here. And 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So nothing. No time. So it means this is in the midnight. That's why you can see here is March 26, 2018, midnight. And the first loop. Okay. So in the first loop, so let me just use string. I hope you understand Python. In Python, in the between single quote, it is string. So this is a string. This is a string from 0 until 9. When we want to do the loop, so the loop will be from the first, next, 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 next until 9. So it is from 0. And you can see here, it is the for loop. And I want to use the for loop counter 0. For loop counter 0 means I would like to start from the index 0. Okay? It starts from the index 0. Now let's see. The result of this is 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How about if I change it? If I change to counter only. If I change to counter, then you run again. Now it starts from index 1. And now the end at index 10. So the data that you have here, this is the index 1, this is index 2, this is index 3, and so on. Okay. So it depends on you whether you want to use the 0 index or index from 1. Now let's see, I have this string x, 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 x. So I want to do just counting. So I want to do loop and make the counter from this one. And yeah, if I start from 1, okay, so you know that there are 26 x. Now I also have the same x like this one. Now I'm going to count it by reverse. Reverse means I would like to know from the end. So the ending is the last index. The last index is 26 until index 1. And then I want to use the ref counter 0. It means I would like to check from the last index until the index 0. So the last index is 25 until the index 0. For loop first. So I want to check whether this is the first or the last. If it is the first, then the first is true and the remaining are false. I want to see last. For loop dot last. For loop dot last means everything is false and the last will be true. So this is like this one. Okay. So this is actually, it is in the one line. So this is also in the one line. The last one is true. Now I can also do checking for every data in the weekday. In the weekday, we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I want to print for every of the data. And this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now this is another kind of loop which is very special in this text. Okay. Now I want to check for every data in the weekday, and I want to do the for loop for 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, because they are 4x. Then at the first time, I want to check the I. So I means this one. I is the parent. We call it, this is the parent, and this is child. So if I want to do this I, then it means this is the data. And I hope that you understand. When I is Monday, then I need to do 4 times loop. So Monday and the first, Monday and the second, Monday and the third, Monday and the fourth. So you can see here Monday and the first, Monday and the second, Monday and the third, and Monday and the fourth. Okay, so there are 4 times of Monday. And then we can go again back to this one. Okay, so if you can see here, oh, I didn't run this one because this is okay. So I print one because I follow the for loop count parent loop counter. So the parent loop counter means this is the number 1. So we can also choose the for loop counter. Okay. So let's say if I do this one, now you can see the changing. Now we have Monday 1, Monday 2, Monday 3, Monday 4. What does it mean? There's only a slight changing. So this is, you know what this is? Triangle bracket, not compute, dash dash. Do you know? This is comment in the HTML. So if you put this one, it means you will not run the code. So you will not run this code. So you will run this code. For loop counter. So what is the counter? The counter is from the current for. In the current for, we have for string 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when you run it, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. The for loop, it is based on the counter in this child loop. Okay, because this is the child loop. Okay, because this is the child loop. So the child loop means this is the loop. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the second one, I can use, now I remove this one and I put here. It means I will not run this. So it will not be executed. Now I will execute this syntax. I will execute for loop, and for the counter, I will use the parent loop. What does it mean by the parent loop? In the parent loop, this is the parent loop. Weekday. What is weekday? Weekday, it is the day of a week. We start from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. So if we do the counter, we will do the countering based on the parent loop. In the parent loop, how many data do we have? In the weekday and so on, how many data? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And when you run this, it will follow. Monday is the first data of the parent loop. Tuesday is the second data of the parent loop. Wednesday is the third data of the parent loop. Thursday is the fourth data, and so on. So this index will follow the parent loop. However, if I change this one into the counter without the parent loop, so if I change this one, now I block this. So I will not execute this one. I'm using only the for loop counter. In the for loop counter, it means I will follow this one. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you will see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay. So the parent loop and the child loop is different. Yeah, if you need anything for this one, yeah, you can use the parent loop and the child loop. So the parent loop, it follows the counter of the parent loop. It follows the counter from the upper loop. For loops, it is possible if you want to have a nested. So we already see the nested loop. We have for and we have another for. Now, in the for loop, if you already study Python, you will see break and continue. Okay. So break means you stop. Continue means you skip a value and then go to the next value. But in template tag, there is no support for break and continue. Okay, so there is no support for break and continue for the loop before the loop is finished. So you need to make some kind of condition if you want to use the break and continue. The other thing about for is using dictionary. A dictionary is a pair of key and value. For example, I have a person, and the person have some attribute like this one. So name is Bob. Gender is male. Age is 25, and the hobby, there are two hobbies. It is in the list, so it is reading and coding. So we call this is dictionary. The first element is name, gender, its hobby. Name, gender, its hobby. So we call this is the key. And the second element, this is Bob, male, 25, reading and coding. Okay, so we call this is the value. Okay, so this is dictionary in Python. Now let's make it into the Django. Okay, so you will see this one. There are always three: fuse.py, urls.py, HTML. Okay, so it is not difficult to remember. So let's put this one. So include the function for loop dictionary in the file fuse.py in the folder post. So you can just put add more function. Okay, so do additional. So just put this one. Yeah, sometimes it is because of the text. Let me just copy this special print as print text. Sorry, maybe you need to do manually, because sometimes the string in the PowerPoint is not the same with the string in the pie chart. So if you happen like this one, then yeah, you need to make it. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Okay? I don't know how to handle this one. So you need to remove some of this space. Some of this space make it error later if you don't remove it. So like this one, yeah. Sorry for this one. I think I need to handle this one before. Okay. So this is a dictionary. You can see when I mentioned to you the dictionary with this name, and you have the value Bob. It is gender, the value is male. Is age, the value is 25, and hobby, the value is reading and coding. So I have another dictionary. So it's similar like Sajon. If you are doing translation, so school is Hakyu, restaurant, Siktang, morning. So there are two kind of morning. For example, you can say Ojon or you can say Achim. Okay. And I would like to put those into the variable person in the HTML and data in HTML. So I'm going to create hello for dictionary. So I'm making this one. You can put the additional URLs. So this is the URLs number 4. So the URLs number 4 means I'm going to connect to the for loop dictionary, and yeah, for the name I will explain more later, but now let's make the name as unique. So every function should have their own name, and let's just make index for index, if else for if else, for loop for for loop, and for loop function for the for loop dictionary. And then let me put this into the hello for dictionary HTML in the folder templates. Let's make hello for dictionary. Hello for dictionary. Then I will just copy it. Again. I'm sorry. Maybe we need to do this manually. Is there any way to do this refactoring? Okay. I don't know how to solve at this moment. Yeah, let's do manually. So the first is the for loop, and then after the for loop, there should be n for, and then I want to check the variable for each of the data, and then at the end there will be another for loop. Check the key and the value. Okay. So make sure that you eliminate the space again. I think because of the space, I typed with the notepad. That's why something wrong with the pie chart. Okay, after you finish with this, now you can try to open the fort, number 4. So you can see how to run the data in the dictionary into the HTML. So you will see the name is Bob, the gender is male, the age is 25, and the hobby is reading and coding. So this is the way to do the for loop. So you need to define what is the key and what is the value. And then we will call the variable name, person. So person is the variable name in the item. So we have name, gender, age, and hobby. And we call this is items. Okay, we call this is items. So these items will be split. So we will split those items into key and value. So we have the items, so we split into key and value. So the key is the name, gender, age, and hobby. And the value is the value from this name. Name, then this value is Paul. Gender is the key and male is the value. Age is the key, 25 is the value. Hobby is the key, reading and coding is the value. The same as the other, but it is about a dictionary. So this is the key, this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. This is the key, and this is the value. So after the colon, it is the value. You can also check one by one. For example, I want to know the person dot name. I want to know the person dot gender. I want to know the person dot age. I want to know the person dot hobby. And you will see Bob, male, 25, reading good. So this is only the value from the dictionary. And we can also do with the for loop from the other data. So data, what is data? Data is the name of dictionary. This is dictionary. So the dictionary is this one. And then I want to check the key and the value. So I want to check the key is school, the value is Hakim. The key is restaurant, the value is Siktam. The key is morning and the value is John and Hachi. Okay. Okay, so that's the thing. We learned about the installation and the template basic. So actually, yeah, I plan to finish the template basic by last week. So if there is no problem with the installation, yeah, I plan to finish that one last week, but because of the delay. So let me move to the next section, okay? Because we still have some time. Let me just make to the next section, which is about the additional template. So there are some other templates that we need to learn, especially when we do with the information system. We want to also include the HTML. We want to also include some other stuff into our web. So there are three things that I'm going to explain. The first is about the template filters, and the other is about the template inheritance and the web framework itself. Template filter. I mentioned this one as the naive function on filtering because this is just a very simple filtering. In the web, we need to filter some section, okay, because we want to alter or we want to modify. So template filters are simple ways of altering or modifying the value of variables before their display. So for example, name. So I want to print the name in the lowercase. The lower means I want to print the name in the lowercase. So munca. Or if I want to print the name with the uppercase, demunca. Okay. So I need to do something with the HTML. And in this case, the template filters can work well. So the display of the name variable after being filtered through the lower filter, which convert the text to lowercase. And with the filter, usually we use pipe. This is pipe. So this is pipe. We call it pipe, or this is the vertical line. So between the variable, we need to mention what is the filter function. So the filter function in this template, there are many kinds of filterings. And the other thing that we need to know about filtering, filters can be chain. You know what I mean by chain? So the filter can follow by one function and another function and another function and another function and so on. So it can follow with the first function, the second function, third function, fourth function, and so on. That's the meaning by chain. So that is the output of one filter is applied to the next. So for example, after I do the lower, and then I want to split. After I split, I want to make it one with the line breaks and so on. So we can also do like this. So this is the example. You want to escape. So this is the variable. And then the filtering, I can do escape and then I can do line break. The most common filtering function is about date. In the date, there are many variations. So in some countries, you may have the date like day, and then you will present with year, month, and date, like this one. Or in some other countries, they represent with YY slash MM slash DD. Or in some other countries, they have the DD dash MM dash YY. So in this, we need to define what are the particular format for the date. So this is the variation. Okay. So there are so many filtering. I think I cannot explain to you one by one. So I will just give you some example. If you want to figure out with your own data later, yeah, you can try to check in this table. For example, D, small d. So whenever you put the pipe and then you define D, it means you can specify the day of the month with 2-digit numbers. So 2-digit means you can follow with 01, 02 until 31. Big D. Big D means day of the week. And it is textual with 3 letters. So if it is Friday, then they will write you F and I. If it is Saturday, then you will have SAT and so on. So we have another function, for example, F. So F is the time. The time is in the 12 hours and minutes, and the minutes left off if they are 0, and so on. Okay, so you can see there are many functions, and each function they have different kind of format. And also different time zone. Okay, so you can also define the time zone. Let's say this is the Korean time. You want to put maybe the China time. You want to put maybe the Germany time. So you can also have different kind of filtering and so on. Okay. Year. If you use if you use Y with small, then it means year with 2-digit. If you use Y with the big letter, it means 4-digit. If you use Z with the small, then it means you will calculate the day from 0 until 365. Now let's just make a very simple function. So there are 3 files, okay? Fuse, URLs, and HTML. Now include this one in the fuse.py, and then let's put a new path, which is path number 5 in the URLs, and then let's put the HTML. Okay, HTML file, the name is hello filter.html, and let's put it into the templates. So we can put hello filter. Okay, so we have this one. If you finish, then let's see the result. Hello 5. Okay. So filter example of Yungin. So in this case, let's see. Okay, no, I need to see this one. Filter example. So I have the name. Name is the variable name from the backend. So what is the name? Okay, the name is of Yungin. And then I want to make it as the lower. Lower means lowercase, sumunja. Then everything you see here is small case or lowercase. And then you will also look at this data weekday. So I want to do the look for every data in the weekday. So the weekday data is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now I want to do printing for every data, and I want to only print the first. So the first means only the first letter, and let the first letter in the uppercase, Demunja. And you will see this one, MTWTFSS. Next, I want to print the weekday, and I want to see only the first, and let's make it as an uppercase. I want to see the first. So this is the first data, Monday. And all the text will be in the uppercase. All text will be in the Demunja. So I want to print weekday. So this is just Hamil, like this one. Then you can see this is the first data, and I want to put it as the uppercase. Okay. So you can do filtering like this one. And this is the last one, is about the date. So now is the current time. So how can we get this now? How can we get this now? Now we have this format JSFY. It's I. So before we have this one, I think we have the function. So now it refers to the date time, and then we have JSF. You can see from this table. J. So the day of the month without leading 0. So it is from 1 until 31. And then S. Okay, so you can also refer S. So it is the English ordinal suffix for day of the month, 2 characters. So yeah, you can see here. I can enlarge this one. S. So it is the English ordinal suffix. If you understand the first, second, third. Okay. So it is the additional. So you can see 26 years. Okay. And then it follows with the other F. F, it is the month, textual and long. So it is using months. And then Y, it is the year. X, it is time. And I is the, you can check, minutes. Okay. So everything you can define it for the printing in the web. Maybe this is not the exact time because the time zone. Okay, this is the time zone in the Greenwich because the maybe we are 9 hours more than the 00. So that's why this is 5 a.m. So we are now in the 2 p.m. Okay, so that's the filtering. Okay. And okay, then I will stop here because the inheritance, I need more time to deal with this one. Any questions?